Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Guru. See, the main problem in some cases that however you may try to have the bhava shuddhi and you feel that the conflicts in the family or in the office and all there will be some likes and dislikes. Mostly you will like only 2-3 out of 10 and the rest of them you may not like, and 1 or 2 you will be having utter dislike, and there is enough reason, because always out of 10 2 will not do anything, they will only speak and only create problem. So you cannot get rid of your agitation in the mind. To deal with the agitation in the mind, what you have to do is to grow Vairagya. That is the only way. Vairagya means, are we not magnifying our problems? Whenever we are having some difficulty in the family, somebody said something, this happened, they did not give enough importance, always something will be there. Have a very elevated attitude. What about the whole universe? How many, you look at the society, just how many people are suffering, they are not having even one full meal. In spite of that, they are, so in one French journalist was going around in Calcutta, he had heard something about Calcutta, so he came to see. He could not find anything which he could report in a positive manner. Then when he was coming back to his hotel in the evening, he found that a family who were staying in a tent, a sort of a tarpaulin tied over them, the man came back with some food, some roti, some chapati in his jhola. And they were about to sit for taking their dinner. There was a dog lying outside on the footpath. He had 3 children, wife and 5 people. Plus 1 or 2 dogs, I don't remember. He called the dogs and all of them divided their food and took. So the journalist said that I have got my point. That at the end of the day he is getting some food and he is sharing with the dog there. What kind of a mindset? So we are not looking around. That is why I always say, particularly the children, send them for social work. Let them see how people are suffering. Let them go to the shanties, the bastis, basti and all, and see how people are staying, where there is real poverty. Not many people stay, in spite of their riches also they stay in shanties. That is different. When we look at others, automatically our problems will become much lighter, modified, moderate. We will not think of it at all. So why am I calling it Vairagya? Today I will explain Vairagya. So I am saying that is in Bhagavad Gita also, he says that Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichchannipavashneya baladiva niyojitaha. Arjuna, after listening to everything, in the which chapter? 3rd chapter. He is saying, Atha kena prayuktoyam papam. Papa means not always sin as we think. In spirituality, papa means any constriction is papa. Punya is also a papa in spirituality. Why? By doing some punya karma like social work or digging well or helping people this way, that way. If our ego gets further enhanced, I have done this, I have done that, I have made so many homes for this and that, then it is papa, because by doing the good work for the people also your ego is getting more and more strengthened. Your limitation, you are strengthening your smallness by doing good work also, that I have done a lot of good work. Or there will be similar various kinds of egoistic tendencies there. So in spirituality, papa means any constricted behavior is papa. Arjuna is asking that if it is so that this is our nature and we are so sky-like, spatial in our real nature, then how are people always dragged to commit wrong things, constricted things, papa? Anichanniva Vaishneya, as if they don't want to commit anything like that. They don't want to commit sin or bad constricted behavior, selfish behavior. They don't want to become selfish. But baladiva niyojitaha, even then they are by force, like a storm taking the cloud, their mind is taken to constricted behavior, self-centered behavior. This self-centeredness, if it's not selfishness, initially it is selfishness. The good people who are not selfish, they are also self-centered. I have done so many good work and all, they are thinking about them. And if in their work, suppose an NGO, you will find a lot of conflict will be there. Maybe they are doing good work, but they are also, कैसे करेंगे, ऐसे करेंगे, वैसा करेंगे, इसमें क्या हुआ, उसमें क्या हुआ, there will be a lot of fight. So, it is our self-centeredness, it doesn't go, which forcefully take us to behave in a constricted manner. So in reply he is saying, Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyena miha vairinam. O Arjuna, know forever that the real Shatru, the real enemy, Vairi means enemy, are Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhava. See, they have not said Kama and Krodha. They have said Kama, singular is used. Kama esha, Krodha esha. That means Kama and Krodha are not different. Krodha is an offshoot of Kama. We don't have, that is why in the next 5 verses or so, he has not spoken about Krodha anywhere. He has spoken only about how to deal with the Kama. The whole chapter, 3rd chapter, is how to deal with that Kama. Because Krodha comes when the Kama is not fulfilled and we don't know how to fulfill it. Suppose you want your son to become a very good person, but he is given to naughty behavior or some other thing, and you don't know how to correct him, give him a slap out of your anger. Because you don't know how to better your son, how to improve him. But you want this is my son, so he should behave in a different. He should not behave like this, because it is my son. So there the Vairagya is remove that my part of it. He is a son of anybody, anywhere, and I will try to make his behavior better. But all the agitation is coming from he is my son, that my part of it. So he has said Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava. Its origin is the Rajoguna. So why they are saying these details? It is the formula to overcome the influence of the Kama esha. That first of all, influence of how are we committing papa. That means how are we entering into selfish, self-centered, constricted behavior. For that we have to look into what are the Kama in our mind. And where from the Kama is rising? Rajoguna samudbhava. So naturally, if we have to reduce the Kama, reduce the desires which are haunting us, take to Sattvika Achara. That means change your food from Rajoguna to Sattvaguna to the extent possible. Change your reading habits, seeing habits from Rajoguna oriented to Sattvaguna oriented. Change your association or talk, whatever extent possible to with the Sattvika people in a Sattvika manner and all. If you arrange your drawing room or the house, everything in a Sattvika color combination, not very gaudy, this, that, and not flashing this way, that way, interfering with each other. Put on dress which are Sattvika. यहाँ से ग्रीन गया, वहाँ से वायलेट आया, इधर से एक लाल लगा दिया, चप्पल में एक गोल्डन लगा दिया. These are all Rajoguna behavior. So that is one thing, that you change whatever you can easily change in the material, that will also have effect on you. And then look into the kama, where it is seated, and you treat there. I will come to that also if possible, that it's quite a few shlokas are there, how to tackle the kama in that case. So it is there he is saying that in the treatment, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajoguna samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidhyena miha vairinam. See, there again in another context, what he is saying is, O Krishna, whatever yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana, etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. Arjuna's questions are very erudite questions. See, he finished his lecture, his pravachana on samya. Samatvam yoga uchyate, he said. That the yoga is actually the samatva of the mind. But it is not so easy as just keep equal in sukha, dukkha and all. It's not that. It's a in-depth, complete transformation where we need the Atma Sakshatkara. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yo Arjuna. Sukham va yadiva dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. That means we have to see that whether it is sukha, dukkha, anger, anything, they are only waves in the consciousness, waves in the Atma. That is, the whole universe is nothing other than Atma. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati. He sees all the variegated differences, everything. But they are all only an appearance on the consciousness of the Atma. When he has this kind of a samatva, then his samatva sadhana is fulfilled. Now after this lecture, when Arjuna is asking that you have spoken it very well, but I am not able to yoyam yogastvaya proktam samyena madhusudana. You have spoken about the yoga in terms of samya. But etasya sthitim sthiram aham na pashyami. I am not able to find a stable understanding, grasping of this, whatever you have spoken. Why? Chanchalatvat. Because my mind is chanchala. My mind is restless. And although you have spoken about the uniformity, about the samya, how will I understand? That is why we said, why do we chant this Sahana Bhavatu or Shanti Mantra and all? So that our mind becomes, it forgets all the activities of the world, it becomes placid. Then the communication will be much more effective, that we will be able to understand. So Arjuna said, although you have explained it very well, Krishna, but I have not been able to get at the real stable grasp of the knowledge because my mind is restless. So that means that although we may listen to the knowledge, how can we have the understanding, the real understanding or actualization of the knowledge? So he says that asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam. O Arjuna, I accept that the mind is extremely difficult to, it is extremely difficult to get rid of the restlessness of the mind. Even you can hold a storm, you can stop a storm, but the mind is more powerful than that. That before that it is saying. So, but there is a way. It is not to discourage Arjuna. The mind cannot be controlled, so you remain restless. You go ahead with that. He did not say that. There is a way. What is that? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. You need two-pronged practice for that. Abhyasa means practice. Actually, Vairagya is also practice, but when he says Abhyasa, means you have some regular listening, reading, meditating, all those things. You have to have, where the mind will be brought down to the concept of the Atma, soul, or studying on it, thinking about it. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These are the abhyasa for a knowledge practitioner. And Vairagya. That means you have to practice that also. Vairagya means not dispersion. We will ask, we have not come to Vairagya, we have come only to Viveka. Viveka must lead to Vairagya. That I will do. But here, since we have come to this, I just wanted to say that our mind is constantly pulled by the, as I said yesterday, that it is the raga dvesha. World is not at fault. The knower also remains in the world. It is the raga dvesha of our mind which is constantly making our mind agitated by the likes and dislikes, the clinging to likes and hating what we dislike. So, the mind is always pulled outward and getting agitated. Now, there can be two kinds of forces to make the mind Atma Samstham, to make the mind focused or anchored in the soul. There can be two forces acting. One is that you train the mind to look within, that is, withdraw the mind from outward variegated interactions to look into your inmost level, which we call generally meditation, but it need not be meditation. It can be reading the Shastras about the same thing. It can be thinking about the Atma. All these will withdraw our mind from the external involvement to the inmost focus. I generally call it as centripetal force. Centripetal force means that which moves everything towards the center. The moon is going around the earth. The centripetal force is the gravitational force which is pulling the moon. Otherwise the moon will go away. Now the other one is centrifugal force. That is, which is pulling us out. When we are moving a stone with a finger, suppose a cord is there and a stone is put, and you do like this, the stone will go around. You will find always the cord is pulling your finger. When the stone is going around, it is pulling that. That is centrifugal. It is trying to take your finger out of the central point. Now, the decentralization or the scattering of the mind, what do you call it? The distraction of the mind is taking place because there is not enough centripetal force and there is tremendous centrifugal force. Where mind is, as long as the mind is always focused outside, the centrifugal force is too much. From everywhere it is coming. And we are not doing the regular abhyasa or practice of generating some centripetal force. So here Krishna is saying you do the both way. You generate enough of centripetal force. That means you do Savana, Manana, Nididhyasana, whatever you want, to make your mind focused within. And you reduce the centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is taking us away. So by reduction of the centrifugal forces also the mind will not get distracted. This reduction of the centrifugal force is Vairagya. That is, everything is pulling you. You have a wholesome view of not getting affected by that, not getting attracted, not getting distracted, not getting intolerant about, not getting, kuch na kuch bata diya hai. Somebody has spoken to you abusively. Immediately, oh, I did not do it, it is all wrong. Why did he or she speak like this? And you get agitated. He has spoken and gone, but you start getting agitated. If it is not true, why are you worried? This is where Vairagya is coming. Somebody has said something, it's a fact that it's not true and it is very wrong on that person's part to speak like that. Okay, why are you getting agitated because of that? Let him speak and go. How does it affect me if I have not done it? If I have really done something wrong, we should thank him, reward him that you have pointed out my defect, I should correct it. If I have not done and I am sure about it, simply ignore. So this ignoring is Vairagya here in this case. Whatever, that means what? If somebody speaks like that, let them speak. What so great is going to happen? Yesterday I was saying sometimes that the people who were against Swamiji's movements, in midnight they would come on motorcycle and printing big leaflets, the circulars, leaflets, maligning the ashram, maligning Swamiji, all nonsense. So many things. They have called our ashram a brothel also. Everything. And so many things they would write, and they will deliver those leaflets in the houses in the village. Just to malign the ashram, malign Swamiji. So the first day we also got it, they delivered in our ashram also. The first day we got it, Swamiji read it and said, "Arey, what is this? Why are they doing like this?" A little affectation will be there that I am doing all good things, why should people write like this? Then our pressman Gopalakrishnan was his friend. So he would, for any general opinion, those days ashramites not many were there, only Ma and Swamiji who will always quarrel with Swamiji. So he would call Gopalakrishnan. Gopalakrishnan, why are they doing like this? Can you tell me? Swamiji, you don't have to think what they have written. They only want you to withdraw from the movement. By circulating such maligning picture about you and the ashram to the people, you will get affected and you will pull out of the movement. That is what they want to do. So immediately Swami said, then I don't mind it at all. I have to do the movement. If they want me to withdraw from the movement and for that they are doing, let them go ahead doing. They will not be able to be successful about it. Even once a spy had come from a Russian spy to do the mediation and somehow pull out Swamiji from the movement. Because it was going against the communist government. It was all for the welfare of the people, that the communist government should have done it. But they cannot do because they will lose the Hindu vote bank. So they don't want the credit to go to a Hindu institution. So there are a lot of complications like that. So they sent a spy who would regularly come every day morning and for 5 and 6 years will torture us. Torture us means mentally torture us. What all things he was saying and doing and trying and this way, that way, that way. Finally he did not succeed. Could not do anything. We went ahead with the movements. Then when he found that he was not able to do anything, then he went away, did not come again anymore, but started sending about 14-15 postcards stitched together. Why? So that everybody can read what he has written. In the post office when it comes, if it is a closed letter, nobody will know. That is not his intention. His intention, the postcard will be read by everybody. And they are against all kinds of maligning things are there. So many things. They have called me lackey also. That because whatever Swamiji is doing, we are following and also. It was about all of us. So he sent, but there was no effect. So he stopped sending any further. The point here is that we are giving things too much of importance. What did Buddha Deva do? When the Tantrika head came, he was sitting under a tree. Buddha became so famous, and that was the time when that Tantra was at its height with all corruptions, everything. Bali was going on everywhere. So when Buddha became famous with his ahimsa and all, it goes straight away against the Tantra Charcha. The Tantrika head came and started abusing Buddha. Left and right, all sorts of things. Buddha kept quiet. After some time he got all the more agitated. You don't consider me a human being? I am speaking to you for such a long time and you don't pay any heed to that. Then Buddha smiled and said that, Dadatu gali mantaha bhavantaha. I have spoken about it quite a few times, but you can remember it any number of times, it will help in your behavior. You go on giving me abuses. In this world, a person can give whatever he has in his stock. You have enough gali, abuses in your stock, you go on giving me gali. But I don't have any gali in my stock. How can I give you anything in return? समझे? हमारे पास तो गालियाँ नहीं हैं हमारे मन में, तो हम आपको कैसे गालियाँ दें? आप चाहते हैं कि आप गालियाँ दे रहे हैं, हम भी गालियाँ दें, एक झगड़ा बन जाए. ये तो नहीं हो सकता कि हमारे पास गालियाँ ही नहीं है. Now what is important here is how could Buddha remain stable and come out with such a reply? It is his Vairagya. He became famous. He doesn't bother about the fame. He became very famous, but he didn't bother about the fame. And somebody is defaming him. he doesn't borrow out the defamation also. Some will speak good, some will speak bad. So I am ready to accept both. Let it come, and it doesn't have any affectation at all. It just, somebody is telling, we are hearing, that's all. We can think about it, whether there is any truth in it, we will analyze that, but not getting affected by that at all. Affectations come from the ego, from our desire, from our expectation. Otherwise, we can listen to whatever people are saying, we can listen to very well, and then take whatever actions to be taken without getting affected. So, yesterday we were discussing about Viveka. It's not over, but let us now go to the second quality, which is called Vairagya. Now, Vairagya, the term has come from Viraga. Viraga means anti-raga, the opposite of raga. What is raga? Raga means, we are using raga dvesha, but originally it is from color. Raga means color. That means we are always applying a color to the world as well as to our, I am part of the world, that is my personality also is part of the world. We apply over the entire world the color. What is that color? The two kinds of color, one is me and mine and others, the two different colors. Me, connected to me is mine, both are the same kind of color, and whatever is not me and mine is the others, is the color. This two color distorts the whole world vision for us. Is it not? Now, in another sense, we apply the two colors of likes and dislikes. Whatever we like, we cling to that. Whatever we dislike, we hate or be intolerant about it. We avoid that. So they are two linked, because whatever is connected to my satisfaction, me, satisfaction of me and mine, that we apply the like color. And whatever goes against that, we apply the dislike color. Two are different, but there is a link between the two. Is it not? Suppose it is my body. I like it because it is mine. And because I like, I am partial to it. When I hit something which is maybe very, very important and costly, before seeing whether the material has got damaged, we look into our leg whether I have got injured or not. And if somebody is too involved with the material, then before seeing whether the man had got, the foot has got damaged, we will see whether our wall has broken or not. A car has hit the compound wall. First thing is that, oh, our compound wall has got broken. Car mein kya hua to pehle dekhna chahiye. So it is happening like that. So viraga means that removing the color, the special color we are applying on the world, the me and mine and our likes and dislikes, these colors we are applying to the world, they have to be removed. That is called the Vairagya. So in English, it is not dispassion. Although that dispassion word will find in everywhere, in all the books translation, better not call it dispassion. It is impersonality and impartiality of vision which is generated by Vairagya. That raga dvesha is applying the color of raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. So it is freedom from this raga dvesha and that personal partial vision. So I thought that what can be the best translation? I thought that impersonality and freedom from raga dvesha will be the best. I tell you, these are not defined in the book's text in this manner. Whatever is defined in the books, they are also right. But my whole life had been, life of speaking or writing had been to make things applicable in life. So any definition given, it might be scholarly, very nice also. But generally I try to find out how people will be relate to their behavior. If we can express in that manner, that has been my effort, that the terms are given which will be relatable to our behavioral aspects. So when we say it is the removal of the raga dvesha, freedom from the raga dvesha, that is Vairagya. When we say dispassion is Vairagya, are there not a great difference? We are always clinging to what I like and hating what I dislike. There we need the correction. By dispassion, people feel that I will remain like a... What is the term? Not stone, but dispassion means I will limp, absolutely not of any... No. Dispassion means I will not be passionate in any work. But you will find Swamiji is most passionate in his work. Then how can it call it the dispassionate is, Vairagya is dispassionate? Indifference. Indifference also means somewhat like that. But I found that the impersonality and impartiality is a much better word. We are partial because of that. Not that we will not be passionate. We will be very passionate about purity and other things or whatever we are. Was not Vivekananda extremely passionate? So much so that he will be going to the extreme, which was not very good, but he was of that nature because he had to do a lot of work in a very short time. Such people will have to work like that. Shankaracharya also. If they become dispassionate, then we would not have all so much of writings of Shankaracharya. They would sit and think and sleep or meditate. So, the actual practical meaning of Vairagya is having an impersonal vision of the world. This has another importance as we have found in our workshops and particularly corporate workshops. All the corporate people are very much after impersonality because they know that the decision making power will be great when you are impersonal. Is it not a great corporate quality, manager's quality to remain impersonal in deciding anything? They like impersonality. The moment you call it Vairagya, they will say, no, वो तो नौकरी खत्म हो जाने के बाद करना है. After I retire, I will do. Vairagya means not now. But Vairagya means right now you have to do. You have to be impersonal if you have to have a real vision of the world, a real understanding of the world. Without Vairagya, you cannot have a real understanding of the world. Your partiality will always color the world. So, according to Vivekachudamani, Shankaracharya definition, it is Iha Mutra Phara Bhoga Viraga. This is absolutely accurate, but not in the present era. We have to coin different words which will explain our practical sadhana. He is saying it is Iha Mutra Phala Bhoga Viraga because he was working in a time when people were given to rituals. That is why you have the argument between Mandana Mishra, who was the greatest ritualist of his time, and Shankaracharya, who was a Vedantin. Why? Because ritualism was at its peak. So, ritual means what? Everybody was doing yaga, yajna and other practices to have better and better heaven and all. That each yaga has a reward. That if you do it perfectly like this, you will go to this heaven. If you do it, you will go to that heaven. If you don't do it properly, you will go to that hell. So, like that, everything was done with a desireful mind. In Karma Kanda, all the acharas, yagas, yajnas, all the karmas are done with a desireful mind. Sometimes worldly desire and most of the times otherworldly desire. Because worldly, whatever they are doing, they are fine with it. Particularly the rajas used to do the yaga and yajna. They may want another kingdom, that's all. Rajasuya yajna and all. But basically they were worried about the next life. Because many wrong things also they would do. So they don't want to go to the hell. So reserving the heaven, they have to do some other yaga. So that was the time when this heaven, hell was... Now I don't think anybody is worried about what hell we are going to go. Have you thought of... Nobody thinks of it. So, Iha and Amutra. Iha means this world, the present world, and Amutra means the other world which they were thinking that we will attain after the body falls. So, Iha Mutra Phala Bhoga Viraga. That is some result, that yagas will have always a result. Like Dasharatha's Putra Kameshti yaga, he will get son, and he got sons after that. That is the Iha, it's not Amutra. That in this world I want to have my progeny, I want children or sons to be born. He had a daughter, but he wanted son. And the next desire was amutra. Not only in this world, but after the body falls also we have desires. These two desires were very, very prominent. And what are these desires? Desires for enjoying the result of whatever we are doing. The karma, whatever actions we are doing, the result of karma. In this life, whatever karma we are doing, we want to enjoy the result of it. And in the other world, by doing yaga, jajna, etc., we want to enjoy the result after the body falls also in Svarga. This was the concept. So the important point is phala bhoga, phala bhoga. That means we are always, the tendency is to enjoy. Bhogecha. Bhogecha means we always have the desire to enjoy. Look into a little inside, even in meditation, once somebody gets a blissful feeling or some joy or peace or so, you want to repeatedly do the meditation to again and again feel that joy, or is it not bhogecha? Earlier the bhogecha was to enjoy the world. When you become spiritual, you find that the greater enjoyment is there in getting inside, in absorption. As in sleep, it is a wakeful sleep. There I get the maximum enjoyment. So again we get attracted to that. So they say that never you should get attracted in, particularly the Mandukya Karika I was discussing in the global satsang. He says that never get attracted to the ananda or the joy you are getting in meditation. Then you are gone. You will not be able to proceed further. That is also bhoga. So iha amutra phala bhoga viraga. That means not wanting any of this. Viraga means that the color we apply to the enjoyment of this world and the other world, remove that color. That is called Vairagya. Iha amutra phala bhoga viraga. Iha amutra phala bhoga viraga is defined as Vairagya. That means I don't want anything in this world to enjoy. I don't want anything after the body falls also. I am not worried about anything at all. As our Swamiji always quotes, Baba used to say, Kichui China. Kichui China means not only in this life, but if there is anything else also, we are not interested in it. In Bhagavad Gita it is there, second chapter, 52. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. These are all important to understand what Vairagya is really. You cannot just understand from Yahamutra Phalabhoga Viraga. You have to have a very vast vision from all sides. Then only it will become active. You will have a proper grasp of this. He says, Yadate moha kalilam. Moha kalilam means the delusion we are suffering from right from birth. That kalusha, that kind of a cloudy covering which is there on our buddhi. Why are we not able to see what we are in reality? See, all of us are Amritasya Putraha. All of us are infinite, that Atma in our real identity. Why are we not knowing that? Is it by the spiritual pursuit we are creating that Atma? We are not creating anything at all. What I am in reality is covered by ignorance. By knowledge, we are only trying to remove the ignorance. Then whatever is there will be clearly visible to us. Suppose the cloud is covering the sun. Has the sun gone anywhere? You don't know the sun because it is covered with dark cloud. Remove the dark cloud. Remove the cloud. The sun is blazing brilliantly there. Have you created anything there? Have you created the sun? You have only worked for removing the cloud. And the sun was there, it becomes visible. Like that, the covering in our buddhi. Buddhi means not just the analytical buddhi. The buddhi means understanding. Whatever understanding we have, the base of the understanding. where there is a cover of the ignorance which is covering our real identity, not allowing us to see our universal dimension, our infinite transcendental dimension. That covering is removed by our sadhana. Yadate moha kalilam buddhi vyatitarishyati. Yadate buddhi moha kalilam vyatitarishyati. When your buddhi, the same buddhi which is now covered with the ignorance, that same buddhi is freed of the covering. It has got enlightened. Then what happens? Tadagantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Then he will develop a nirvedam, as he was saying, dispassion. It is a dispassion or indifference. It's an indifference. Towards what? Shrotavya and shruta. That means you have heard about God, you have heard about hell, heaven, you have heard about Punarjanma, next Janma, this, that and all. You have heard about so much of that in heaven there is no thirst, there is no hunger. All those things, as Nachiketa is saying. This is all Shruta. Shrotavya, even they have to tell about many other things in the world also. What will happen? The world will be destroyed in 2000. They go on changing generally. These forecasters from 1966 onward, it is changing and changing. Now, what is the date given by them? 2010? No, वो तो हो गया अभी 2010. 2030 होगा, उसके बाद 50 होगा, वो चेंज करते जाते हैं. So he will not be interested anything of that kind at all. Why? Because he has become fulfilled. He doesn't want anything. Then only he can say Kichui China. I don't want anything. When the body falls, it will fall. As long as I am living, I will live. Whatever I can do, I have the capability to do, and whatever the society needs, I will go on doing. It's such a great freedom that you remain always in samya, samatva. You go on doing whatever you are doing. This is what Vairagya gives us. See, the Vairagya is a quality of our soul, our Atma. Why? Because nothing touches the Atma. Atma can never get changed. Atma is unchanging, imperishable, unaffected always. There is nothing like the Atma which is that in unaffectedness, in unchangingness, you cannot find anything other than Atma. Even the space gets affected if some huge, massive thing, some galaxy getting destroyed. There around the space will have some effect. But Atma will not have some. Because Atma is not to be found in the objective world. Atma is the consciousness, the revealer of the world. You cannot see any change because it is not an object where you can detect any change. It is the I-ness. You can see Atma only in your own eye. You cannot see the Atma, find the Atma anywhere else. The whole world is only appearing in the Atma. So the Parakashta, this word has come from in running, they used to put a log at the end. Suppose 500 meter. At the end of the 500 meter, there will be a log. So you have to reach only up to that. That used to be called the Parakashta, means the last log. So the Parakashta of Vairagya is Atma. So as we are growing in Vairagya, we are becoming more and more the soul, that Atma we are. Self-realization is not that someday you discover, oh, this is the self I am and all. It's not like that. Why Vairagya? You are approaching the self-realization, you are becoming the self. You are coming closer and closer to the self, and finally you find that there is no difference between the self and I. That is what the Vairagya is. So, by conceiving of the Atma also, thinking about the Atma, doing manana on the Atma, will you not become unaffected about everything? You will grow Vairagya. So that Vairagya is very much necessary to grow in all our activities, because we are by nature, as the society is progressing further, we are becoming more and more self-centered. The society is now modular, families are modular. And so much of things of enjoyment and all that people are always competing, always trying to grab. Actually, we should try to live. Things will come by itself. Vihaya kamaniya sarvan pumamscharati nisprihaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sa shanti madigacchati. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat. Tadvat kamahayam pravishanti sa shantim apnoti na kamakami. Kamakami means those who are running after the desireful objects to have fulfillment. Na shantim apnoti. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham, one who is like the ocean, getting filled and getting, the water is getting filled and the water is getting evaporated. Whatever goes, it is allowing without any restriction. It is not holding on, no, I won't give vapor here. Keep your vapor with you. What will happen? Then the rivers will dry, then you will not be filled up with the water also. This Samudra is more clever, is cleverer than us. By being natural, it is having a cleverer. We want to hold on. If you don't release the vapor to the sun, then the rivers also will not be there. So constantly rivers are coming and flowing into you and the vapors are going up. And what is happening? Apuryamanam achala pratishtham. Absolutely stable. Samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat. In that sea constantly the waters are coming. So you don't have to grab or you don't have to desire the water to come. Oh, you come, you are Ganges, very pure water. Come more. Oh, you are a Nala water. Don't come to my sea. I will not allow you. Nothing like that. It is coming in its own natural way. They are coming and filling you. Apuryamana machala pratishtham samudramapaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamahayam pravishanti. To him all the desireful objects will just simply enter. He doesn't want, it just simply enters. Sa shantim apnoti na kamakami. One who runs after the desireful objects, he never becomes fulfilled at all. This is what the Vairagya is. The ocean is also a Vairagyan. It's lying like the soul, unaffected by anything happening. The sun is constantly shining. The water is vaporized. It is not affected by that. Filthy water is flowing into it. It is not affected. As the human beings, the society will get affected. As we are now collecting all plastic garbage from the sea, there doesn't happen anything to the sea. It is our misdoing and we will suffer. Sea has no role to play. It is only allowing people to throw their garbage in it. If we clean it, it will allow us to clean it also. Do you get a touch of this Vairagya? But after going out of the class, gone again. No? Again back to the same pocket. I opened the Bhagavad Gita for what? Nirvedam, that Shrotavyasya Shrutasya cha, that is done. So it is done. There are many things here. How many, when I speak, everything gets related. So this will say, speak about me, another will say, speak about me, another will come, speak about, how much we will speak. And my brain is so much, no, but I am not able to remember where I start. I say, अच्छा बच्चा तुम आ जाओ अभी तुम्हारे विषय में बोलेंगे. शुरू किए तो वो दूसरा बच्चा खींच के ले गया दूसरी तरफ, तो ये खो गया, वो वहाँ से रो रहा है, हमें बोलिए. अरे तुम्हें तो हम भूल गए हैं, कैसे बोलेंगे तुमको? See, that is why that you have that shloka in morning and evening chanting. Bhoge roga bhayam kule chuti bhayam. Sing? Say. Vitte nipalad bhayam. Mane dainya bhayam bale ripu bhayam. Rupe jaraya bhayam. Shastre vadi bhayam. Gune khala bhayam. Kaye kritantad bhayam. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvi nrinam vairagyameva bhayam. So everything is bhayam, 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 only vairagyam eva abhayam. The abode of fearlessness is vairagya. Why? What is vairagya? Does it mean that we should not have bhoga? Bhoge roga bhayam, they are saying. That is, if you have too much of enjoyment, then there will be disease. But it is not just too much of enjoyment. The problem is that when we are enjoying, we are getting slave to that enjoyment. Those who are fond of sweets, if they don't get sweets, then they suffer. Those who are fond of luxurious living, if they have to one night also spend in a cottage, they suffer and they cannot almost. It is the question of becoming slave to bhoga. That is the problem. Otherwise you stay in a palace also. Doesn't matter at all. You appreciate their many things or cleanliness if it is so. If it is to be appreciated, you can appreciate, you can feel nice about it. But you don't get overwhelmed by that. You don't become servile. You don't become slave to whatever is there. So you don't suffer when it is not there. So bhoge roga bhayam means you are enjoying or you are enjoying your health also accordingly. Khane mein bahut maza hai, kha rahe, but when the disease comes, then you start suffering. हाँ इतना सारा स्वीट लिए थे, इतना सारा ये खाए थे, वो तो ठीक नहीं था, कुछ संयम करना चाहिए था. यौवन में हम संयम नहीं किया है, इसीलिए सारा कुछ जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है खराब हो गया है. एज नचिकेता सेड जरयन्ति तेजः सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम जरयन्ति तेजः. इफ द इंडल्जेंस इज टू मच, they will deplete our senses of their power. That is what is, Nachiketa doesn't have to say, every day it is happening. That is why we are entering into the sleep, deep sleep, where they get replenished in the lap of the soul. Because at that time, no mind, no dream, nothing is there. We need a deep sleep for some time. Because their mind is also not functioning. As long as the mind is functioning, the indriyas are functioning, not the external indriyas. They are dead, they are sleeping. But inside the brain, the real indriyas are inside the brain, because the whole world is generated there. So there the signals are still there, and the tiredness will come. All the tiredness will be there. If you have a very struggling dream, you will feel very tired after sleep. So only in deep sleep all those become silent, and you need that sleep to again come back to life next morning and work in the world, enjoy the world again. So even one day also, 24 hours you cannot pass without getting back to sleep. So enjoyment is always depleting our senses. So bhoge roga bhayam. Is it not? It is not that you should not enjoy. We are not saying that you should not enjoy at all. You should enjoy, not becoming slave to whatever you are enjoying. You should not become overwhelmed by that. Kule Chuti Bhayam. If you are very prestigious about your Vamsha, that many people are, I belong to this heredity, that heredity. अरे आप तो पिताजी और ग्रैंडफादर और ग्रैंडफादर के ऊपर you are taking pride in your past. What about the future? आपके बच्चा अगर नाश हो गया तो? Chuti means the son becomes notorious, spoiled, perverted. If the son becomes perverted, then you will find that the parents will always say that you belong to such a good family, how could you become like this? That is, they are having the insult feeling that we belong to a very good family and my son has become perverted like this. That is the Chuti. Chuti means deviated from the great lineage we have. So if you take pride in your lineage, remember that your son or grandson may torpedo your pride. So it is not saying that you should not have a good lineage. You should do everything have good lineage. You should be appreciating your lineage if it is good. but never take pride in your lineage. See, everywhere the question comes where we are possessing something, possessing the bhoga, or possessing means or becoming slave to that. Lineage is good, but you should not take pride in that, my lineage is like that, the my is added to that. Then the Chuti Bhayam will be there. If my son, that is why such a son we start beating, because it is a Chuti Bhayam, that such a good lineage. Our headmaster in school used to say, we three were studying in the same school. This brother is there and Meenakshi's sister, all three in Purvashrama. Sometimes it comes to mind. We were studying in the same school, and the headmaster used to say that, to me he will say, your brother is so good, your sister is good, why are you like this? Then when I exposed about it, my sister said that, oh, he tells me also that your elder brother is so good, your younger brother is good, why are you like that? And he used to tell him also that your brother is good. So it is giving us the pride of the Kula and then condemning that you are becoming a Chuti from the Kula. All of us were good. He need not have said like that. So, Kule Chuti Bhayam, Vitte Nripalad Bhayam. If you have lot of property, those days kings were that, small kings, big kings. And even if somebody becomes a big zamindar, they were afraid of the king, because he will take tax, he will take away the property from there. So if you go on accumulating vitta beyond your use, that is the problem. Everywhere it is that. You are becoming slave to your vitta, you are holding on to the property, not allowing it to be. Even people will not give tax, which is due for the government. Unless they get the tax, how can they do all the welfare? The moment we are stepping out not on our property. It is maintained by the government. So we should help the government to have the reasonable tax, whatever it is due. We should give it. But people flout all those things to collect more and more property. So if you collect property, then there is a fear of one day the income tax people. And now Nirpala is not there. The kings are not there. The income tax or enforcement directorate abhi jo Calcutta mein ho raha hai. So, Vitte Nripalad Bhayam. It is saying that you should, there is no harm in having vitta, but you have enough so that you can live properly, and anything beyond that you should either invest in the industry or you give it to the people who do not have, give it in dana. These are all standardized social statements we have, and many people I found in Gujarat, they follow it very meticulously, that some 17% who knows can say, 17 to 20% they give as dana. That is why all the satram and what do you call that, the ashram, what do you call, where people stay, dharmashalas and all in Rishikesh, Haridwar, etc., all the Tirtha sthanas, they are all run by the Marwaris and Gujaratis who are businessmen and who give part of their income. There is a code for it, that so much percentage you have to give to this, so much you have to reinvest in your, and so much you can use for your own family and all. They follow, many of the good businessmen they follow. Mane Dainya Bhayam. Mane Dainya Bhayam. Mana means you have lot of prestige, you have done good things, or you are a famous person or so. People respect you. You have gone to a place where nobody is caring at you. Nobody asked your name even. Who are you? Maybe they asked you to sit somewhere or stand outside the. Oh, kya ho gaya? Deenata. That is, you are what you are. What is there? Some places you will be honored, some places you will not be honored. You will accept the honored, you will accept the other behavior also. If somebody gives you reward, you become very happy and elated by that. See, if you are a sane person, then I am not saying that you will not be happy when your qualities are appreciated. If there is anybody who appreciate your qualities, that means whatever you have considered that to be, suppose in spirituality also, what are we doing? We have dedicated all our life to this sadhana for these qualities. Now, if we find a single person in the world who appreciates these and who is there to take it, will we not be happy? We will be more than happy for that. But at the same time, it is not that we will become elated and we will become proud that somebody is appreciating our quality also. We will certainly be happy for the appreciation of whatever we consider to be great. You will find some kavis, some poets had written that there will be, although nobody is there to appreciate my poem, but the Prakriti is large, the world is large, and the time also is infinite. There will be some time somebody born somewhere who will appreciate my poem. Because poor fellow did not get appreciation from anywhere. It is happening in Rabindranath's life. Now we are all Rabindranath Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore. In his life he was getting only ninda from people, only maligning statements from people. So much of insult, so much of... He himself has written this Janagana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya Hai, our national song. People started saying he had written it for the Edwards in praise of the Lord, and so much of maligning statements. When it became public in the newspapers and all, then he himself wrote that I have to write because I cannot even imagine what sort of a mindset makes people make these statements. So he clarified the point that why he had written, what time he had written, for what function he had written, to give enough evidence that it was not written to honor the King Edward, as people are saying. Everywhere people will be getting... How much of ninda Vivekananda has in his life? He was about to be killed in foreign country by the so-called, those days, the one institution which was very much fighting against him. Fighting means trying to... Because they had influence in the West which was going away on Vivekananda's coming over there. So when he reached there itself there was a lot of opposition he had to face. Not from the Westerners, that was there. From the Indians over there, from the Indian culture over there. So, Mane Dainya Bhayam. Deenata. What is the translation we have given? There is fear of kings. In honor, there is fear of dishonor. Same. Mane Dainya Bhayam, Bale Ripu Bhayam. When you are very powerful, there will be the fear of another more powerful person. Particularly for the kings or the wrestlers and all, somebody is developing more, even any sport also. Now, there is nothing wrong in having the strength. But everywhere the important point is that if you become possessive about it, if you start associating your ego with it, egoistic about it, if you become slave to it, then there is the problem. There the Vairagya is necessary to be generated. It is not that all these things you should not have. You can have. But having enough of Vairagya. Bale Ripubhayam Rupe Jaraya Bhayam. I don't have to say that those who are beautiful, they become so proud of their beauty, then as the age grows, they start putting one layer, 2 layers. Now there are inject to puff up this area, so that the youth still remains. So they are afraid of the jara, afraid of the old age. Actually, old age is very, very beautiful. With the wrinkles and all, I still remember my grandmother's this portion we used to pull. I often see that it is becoming somewhat like that. We should be happy about the old age, and you are full mature, you can enjoy everything provided you have grown Vairagya. That is the problem. Our grandmother developed enough of Vairagya. She would not stay with the children generally. 6 months or so she would spend in the Haridwar, Puri, Banaras, like that. And sometime she would stay with the children. Rupe Jaraya Bhayam. So, beauty is not negated. You can be beautiful, but don't start getting proud about it or some speciality, that ego, that I am beautiful. That's the problem. The flower is beautiful, is it not? Like that, the human being also will become most beautiful when the ego connected to it is not there. When the mind is pure, that beauty of purity will join the beauty, the physical beauty also. Generally, when we look at people, we see the person to be beautiful when the mind is pure. We see the internal purity more. The external purity does not influence us that much. External beauty, that does not touch. The feature wise, very beautiful, but it's a very egoistic, rough face. We are not appreciating, we are not able to appreciate that much. Shastre Vadi Bhayam. If you take pride in your scholarliness, कोई है जो हमें हरा देंगे. लेक्चरर भयम. हाँ, आई गिव वेरी गुड लेक्चर. हाँ, आपके से ऐसा कोई नहीं बोलते हैं. अरे कोई और होगा बोलेंगे. इफ यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग दैट हमारे जैसा कोई नहीं बोलने वाले हैं, then someday you will find that others are praising and going to others' lecture, they are not coming to us. We don't have that problem because nobody comes to our lecture right from the beginning. Even Swamiji's lecture also, so we don't have that problem. And we don't lecture also. Whatever comes to the mind, seeing the people, that comes out, and I am the first listener. We are the first listener. When it comes out, we are hearing. If something is good, we are happy. If it is not clearly expressed, we don't like it that much. That's all. So, Shastre Vadi Bhayam, Gune Khala Bhayam. If you have lot of qualities, you are very excellent qualities, throughout your life you have cultivated all the qualities. There will be sometimes to malign you also, as I just now said that they were circulating leaflets all around maligning Swamiji. So, if Swamiji had been attaching his ego along with those qualities, that I have lived a pure life or this or that, then somebody maligning, he would start suffering from that. He knows I am what I am. How does it matter what people say or not? So, Gune Khalabhayam Kaye Kritantad Bhayam. Kritanta means Krita Anta. That means our life is always karma, karma, karma. When does the direct karma end? Ends when the body falls. So Yamaraja is called Kritanta. That is why Yamaraja is called Kritanta. Terminates the causality at that point. So Kaye Kritantad Bhayam. That if you are too much body-centered, very soon you will be fearful of death. Oh, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvi nirnam. In this world, bhuvi means in this world, bhuvana, sarvam vastu bhayanvitam. Everything is connected with fear. Why? The fear of facing what I dislike, or fear of losing what I like. All the fears you can condense in these two. Fear of losing what we like and fear of facing what we dislike, what we don't want. So everywhere there will be the fear, provided your attitude is to grab something, to identify something with your ego, possess something, there will always be fear associated with that. Vairagyam eva abhayam. That Vairagya only is the abode of fearlessness. What is the Vairagya? You have everything, you do everything, but never think that I am the doer, I am the possessor. I have nothing to possess, I have nothing to be done, I have done nothing, I will not do anything also. There lies that is the fear, that is the abode of fearlessness. आज तो रुकना है. अच्छा है. So this is the definition of Vairagya. Viveka should naturally lead us to Vairagya. Yesterday also I said, if the Viveka does not lead to Vairagya, we don't call it Viveka. It is English discrimination, but not Sanskrit Vairagya. Vairagya means it will lead to Viveka means it will lead to Vairagya. Because what is Viveka saying? When we look at this, that everywhere this is the world. Where is the question of ego coming in? The whole world is a if you call Triguna, otherwise nature. It's a play of the three gunas, it's a play of nature. Is not my body, mind, personality, the buddhi, the intelligence, the mind, everything is a product of nature. I have not created my buddhi, I have not created my mind. It's a product of nature. So it is the three gunas which have created the body, mind, personality. With that body, mind, personality, the three gunas are interacting with the three gunas which have created the world. It's a guna guneshu vattanta iti matva na sajjate. So sajjate means clinging. Na sajjate means they don't cling. They don't cling to anything, knowing that it's just a play of the gunas. I am nowhere, I am only a witness of everything. And that witness bhumi is the Vairagya bhumi. That is the state of Vairagya. Okay. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nityabodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Hari Om Tat Sat.